Happy Monday and welcome to Tech with Miss Berryman. I am going to walk you guys through week 2 to kind of help you out and hopefully answer any questions that you may have on our learning this week. During this, I am going to give you some bonus words. These words will be to check and make sure that if you're coming to me with questions, you have watched this first, because most of your questions hopefully will be answered through this video. So to start us off, we're going to have 3 bonus words. So if you email me and ask me questions, I'm going to say, did you watch the video? And if you say yes, I'm going to ask you for these 3 bonus words. So our first bonus word is pink. For week 2, we do have more work this week than last week. We do have a science every day, for math lessons, ELA every day, some social studies. We also now have music in there as well. But something exciting, we don't have school on Friday because we were supposed to be out. It is Good Friday, so we will not have any work on Friday. So, woo! But that also means my friends that have conferences with me, we will not have a class Zoom or our one-to-one conferences this week. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we go ahead and start in our modules. For week 2, I first want to show you this pacing guide. Here, the point of this pacing guide, ooh, it's sideways on here, let's fix that. It's kind of a checklist for you. So if you go through, I highly recommend that you print this. It's called pacing guide. So as you finish your assignments and you complete it, you can check yourself off. Just like I keep a schedule for myself, this is a schedule for you. I highly recommend it. But if we get going into our modules, we're going to start with looking at science. So science is the same as last week, where you had your learning. And remember, you have to scroll all the way down and then click those arrows for next, going all the way through. I was watching a 5th grade video and he made a good point, and I wanted to also point out, when we're learning, make sure we pay close attention to some of the text features in here. So there may be these little arrows that go through, and you've got to make sure that you read all the way through it. These little dots show where you are. So like right now, we're on the last page. We can't go anymore. But scrolling all the way through. Making sure if there's a video, we watch the video. If there is a game, you can play the game. But also, if there's some practice. Now this, it has an activity sheet. These activity sheets are not turned in, but the point of these activity sheets are almost like when we take notes in class. There are graphic organizers to help our thinking. So if you're not printing these activity sheets to do it, you're going to be missing part of that learning. So it's really important to be working with that activity sheet while you're going through the lesson as well. For those of you, I'm sure you've clicked the buttons, but you can play it, so it'll tell you what it says. If you want just a certain thing, you can hit play.
Can you feel?
And it'll read it. I'm not going to listen to that. We'll think she's loud. You can stop it from reading. You can pause it. Take a minute. Play around with the buttons. Learn the program. It's going to be okay. One button I also want to show is this My Progress. So this shows where we are. So right now we're on page 3, and there's 8 pages to the final with the assignment. Okay. Now, as it says, the assignment is a quiz. So if you were to go to our next page, it's going to be your quiz. Remember, for every quiz, you do have 3 attempts. Your goal, if it's 20 points, you need 15 or more points to be a good score. If you get lower than 15, Ms. Graziplane or I will ask you to do it again. Okay? And to do it again, you need to make sure you go through and reread your materials. Now our sound energy assignment this week, there is an actual assignment. So when you get to the last page, it's going to tell you what your assignment is. You'll click on this little button here, and it'll open up what you need to do, and you can download it right in it. If you forgot how to do that, go back to our announcements, and there's a video. Then we have your rubric. This is how we are going to be grading you on it. So make sure you look at this so you can make sure you get all 20 points. If we continue on, for math is just like it was last week. You have lesson 5, 6, 7, and 8. With math, I'm going to highly recommend that before you submit your problem set, you go through and do our concept development. You watch the video. Then go to Zern. Zern is going to give you more of that practice and that one-on-one time. Okay. Now with our lessons, let me click on it. This is not the one I want. So making sure we're going to Zern. Now, they changed it a little bit. So remember, our problem set, just like in class, you only give 10 minutes of independent practice. So let's focus on this sentence right here. So it's going to tell you in bold what problems you 100% need to complete. Okay. So for this problem set, you're going to work for 10 minutes of independent practice. So that means you set a timer, whether it's on your computer, because you know we can go to Google and say timer for 10 minutes, and it'll set a timer. You will have 10 minutes of just you working. And you 100% need to get number 1 completed. Now, I'm not saying do number 1, then don't do the rest. No, you're going to be working for 10 minutes. Okay? For each of those. So each one you go to, it'll tell you what the must-dos are. So those are, think about if we're in class, it's the must-dos, then-dos, and can-dos. So you must do number 1, and then you do the rest. All right, so let's get back to modules. So I'm going to go ahead and give us our second bonus word. Our second bonus word for this video is unicorn. For ELA, you've got 2 assignments. So for food sources, I want to mention this one because I had some friends calling already, panicking a little bit. When you go through it, there are 12 pages on this one. It's a lot. It's going to talk to you about an informative writing graphic organizer. Now, with the graphic organizer, you are not writing the essay, you're just planning it out. So you're filling out our graphic organizer. But you need to make sure that it's just like our hamburger. We gotta have our top bun. Then we gotta have, so we got our cheese, we got our bacon, we got our lettuce. They forgot the meat, guess it's a sandwich. And then we gotta have our bottom bun. We're closing it up. We want all the good stuff inside. So don't forget about those good things inside. And our rubric on how myself and Miss Hangen will be grading it. Let's go ahead, then you'll go over here and you'll submit it just like normal. For your second lesson in ELA, it's all about cause and effect. So you're going to go through and read about erosion and the cause and effect. Then same thing, you're going to complete this organizer. Okay? You will be responsible for these last 2 boxes. When you do your organizer, make sure you go back to our text. You have access to go back through. So reread it. See if you can find the information to help you. That's what it's there for. Then you'll take that graphic organizer and you'll submit it on the next page, just right here. So no quizzes in ELA today, this week. Just some writing and some graphic organizers and some thinking about cause and effect. Don't forget your reading log. When you submit your reading log, I'm going to be posting one to our announcements that has lines on it. I noticed some were struggling because there weren't a lot of lines. You also, if you want to write on a piece of paper, that's fine. You can do that. Just make sure I need the title, a summary. So what's going on in your book? I want to know what you're reading. So tell me about your book. Tell me something exciting. Tell me what's happening, what's going on. What's something that surprised you? What's something you're still wondering about? And how many minutes you read. We can give you steps. So put in how many minutes you read. The page numbers, I'm not as worried about. If you're reading on bookshelf, just put no page numbers. If you're reading a book that doesn't have page numbers, just write no page numbers. It's okay. For social studies, you have 2 assignments this week. So we're going to read through just like our normal one. And we have our quiz for your constitution. As you know, same with science, you have 3 attempts and we want you to get 15 or more points of correct. Then you're going to learn about the parts of the Constitution. In this one, there's an assignment for. So, just like the others, you're going to pull this up. You're going to write, follow it through, answer in our questions, and submit it. And we're going to use this rubric here to grade you. Every time we're going to use the rubric. So if you get concerned, you're not sure why you got points off, go back to the rubric. And we'll write it in the comments. That's what our comments are for. So make sure you're going back and you're looking at those so you can see what you can do better. For PE, make sure you're logging your activity. If you're going outside, if you're taking a walk, if you're going in the pool, log it. Say you went swimming for 30 minutes. That's going outside. That's being physically active, and that's what we want. You do have a music assignment this week. So it's just like our normal one. We go through. This one's all about, it's got a timeline, so make sure you read all the parts and just go through our next one. Okay? There is an assignment for that as well. Art, some of you already did it, and that is okay. If you've already done the art assignment, you do not have to do it a second time. They just gave you 2 weeks for it because they accidentally submitted it. So, doing our art project and having a color wheel, submitting it in that place there. Our last bonus word is princess. So, I'm going to be trying to make one of these every week to kind of walk you through what we're going through, what we're doing, what it looks like. Please make sure you are going on Zern or Dreambox or Smarty Ants to get that extra practice. All right. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us in Miss Berryman's Tech Help. Bye, guys.